Hi everyone, I'm Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, so we are going to be doing the triple deck piles as normal. So there will be three sets of cards. Choose 1, 2, or 3, whatever number resonates with you. And when I get to that reading, it will be for you. Now, if you're watching this is my first successful video to be put up on the internet, so it should be on YouTube. So if you can all do me a favor and like the video and subscribe to YouTube. It doesn't cost anything, it takes less than 2 seconds, and it allows the computers that run YouTube to be able to send this to more people, so I end up helping more people. So if you could do that, I thank you in advance. Okay, so I'm going to start with pile number 1. Okay, so if you've drawn to pile number 1, okay, so I'm going to put these down. I'm still fine-tuning everything that I'm doing, but I'm going to pause this camera and then record with my phone camera, revealing the spread. Okay, so this is pile 1. I'll reveal the cards first, and yes, I am recording this with my hand. Should have got a tripod, but whatever. So, okay. Your overall card is the succubus card, so we'll get to that in a sec. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so this is your spread, just so you can see it. Now we'll go back to the other camera. Okay, so spread 1. If you chose this spread, the overall card, as you just saw, is the succubus card. So, unfortunately, the succubus card is a mythological creature, the succubus, and it would literally suck the energy or the life force out of a person. So, talking day to day, more mundanely, this is being surrounded by situations and people that don't have to actually be doing anything to you, but sometimes they can just be talking to you and just sucking the life out of you. So a lot of the times it's being surrounded by narcissists and selfish people that can only think about them or themselves. So it is kind of like this week it is going to be pretty draining for you, and it might not be other people, it might actually be yourself. If you are the succubus, well, consider changing your lifestyle and your patterns there. But more to the point, we can do this to ourselves as well. If we worry about things and get anxious over things that we have no control over, it can be very draining. If you're just wound really tight, the more you stress and the more you worry, the more you drain your own energy. And then you're left with nothing. And a lot of times this is where people start to get sick as well. So it can be physically exhausting, it can be mentally exhausting. So just keep an eye on that, and just make sure if you're surrounded by these people, we spoke last week about getting rid of toxic energy and toxic people. Now obviously you can't just bang do that. I mean, sometimes you can, but most of the time you can't. So just kind of limit your activities there and just don't let people get to you. That's basically what the advice for this week from the universe is with you. So I've got the home card here. So this is like it's actually upside down. So it is kind of like, okay, there might be, the odds are there are going to be issues in the home. This week. Sorry, I was actually talking about interactions with people, and again, that's where the succubus could, somebody that you live with could be having a really bad time at the moment and sucking all the energy out of you. Possible. But I'm also picking up that there could actually be some issues around the house where things just randomly break or finally break down, blow up, whatever. So just be careful around the home. If anything just suddenly dies, don't naturally think that it's spiritual energy or there's something bad in the house. Sometimes electronics just crap themselves. And things just break down. So look, this week I'm going to say, if you're thinking about selling, hold off. Definitely hold off. And buying, I'm not telling you to hold off buying a house this week, but I think it might be a bit rocky. So you might not get the house that you're going for or something like that. So yeah, it kind of does suck. But here comes the silver lining. The next card is love, okay? So this is like, there is look, it's mostly saying that there's somebody in your life where there is true love there and it's everlasting, okay? But it doesn't actually have to be a love of a person. There is something there that you can fall back on that you love that's never going to let you down. So if you do start having a crappy week where you're your energy's been sucked out and there's problems at home, you know, go to your happy place. Resort back to whatever it is that love brings you. So, excuse me, it could be you love gardening. So when you're being drained and things are going wrong, go out in the garden and do some gardening. It could be art, it could be music, it could be going for a drive or a picnic, or, you know, it could be something like that. That it's basically saying there is a love there that is not going away, and to basically throw yourself into that when you need to, okay? The next card over is the elderly card. Now, the elderly card, yes, does talk about elderly people. So there may be some, I know that there's going to be some issues around health issues with older people, elderly people, like that you're going to hear about, like your grandparents or your great-grandparents or something like that. But this is also, elderly is also kind of like a general time frame, a long-lasting. Now, yes, apart from those few, not everybody's going to have health issues with elderly, but there are going to be a few there. But apart from that, this is actually saying that this love that you have in your life, it's going to be long-lasting. So if we are actually talking about a relationship here, it is going to be long-lasting. It's going to be around for a while. Now, that's not always necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we fall into a relationship and it's kind of like, well, there's nothing really wrong, I'm not really into this, and it's kind of like a one-night stand that lasts 10 years. So be aware of that, because something that lasts forever isn't always a good thing, okay? So there is a flip side to it, but I am being drawn to a very positive thing here. Backed up by the next card, which is negative energy. Now, the negative energy card is actually upside down. So it is saying that there's nothing heinous around you. I know a lot of my clients, we work with magic, and we work with spirits, and we work with curses and negative energies and all of these things, and spirits and things that go bump in the night. I want to say to those people that are worried about that at the moment, that don't worry about it. This negative energy upside down goes back to what I was saying earlier about electronics just crapping themselves. Sometimes it just happens. There's nothing sinister there around you. And also with the whole succubus energy and being drained of energy, it's not like this person or these people or this situation is like trying to suck the life out of you to get ahead of themselves. They're not doing this from a point of view where they're trying to hurt you. It's this kind of selfishness that they don't realize, they don't see. And when they do see it, that's the thing with narcissists. They can never admit that they're wrong and actually mean it. So it's like they're justified. Everything they do, they're justified. Don't get me started on narcissists. Okay, so there is no real ill intent, anything that you need to watch your back about this week. It's just that sort of energy. The next card over is the older woman card. So I do feel like that there is a dominant feminine energy. Doesn't have to be a female, not in this day and age especially, but there is a dominant feminine energy that there might be difficult interactions with this week. I'm really getting that strongly. But it's also, this card is also about reflection, looking around yourself, making sure you're on the right path, making sure that you're not hurting anybody, because who are you to complain about being hurt if you're also hurting somebody? So it is that kind of situation. Make sure you're being considerate of other people just like you want them to be considerate of yourself, okay? It's also about patting yourself on the back. You've come a long way, and never forget that. Like, every time we feel like we're going through a really harsh problem, it's kind of like, oh, not this again, or I've been here, done that. But that's a reminder to yourself that you have made it through some very difficult times. Everybody has. So it is about patting yourself on the back and reminding yourself that you've made it through. This isn't going to be as big and bad as you think it is, okay? Now, I've got the emotion cards here. It's upside down, which my first instinct is good, because it's like you don't have to worry about your emotions this week. Like, but it's also, I'm also getting drawn to a very negative side of that. Like, your emotions are going to be in a bad place. Anxiety, fear, depression, all those bad stuff. So what I'm saying here is that if that is the case, don't stress yourself out and go, oh, how am I ever going to get over this sadness? Or how am I going to get rid of this anxiety? Or when's life going to get better? All these negative feelings, they come in waves. All emotions do. Everything comes in waves. It's energy. So it really is like, if you are feeling down on yourself, don't stress yourself out more by thinking, great, I'm on a downward spiral, I'm going to be depressed for like 6 months now. No, that's not the case. It's just how you're feeling at the moment, especially being drained of energy. We naturally feel burnt out, we naturally feel exhausted, and that's when we feel down, and that's kind of like, I can't be bothered doing anything. And it kind of plays a little trick with our brain that says, okay, we're depressed now. And once you get into that funk, you do get depressed. We all do. I do too. But it is kind of like, don't worry, tomorrow you're going to wake up, you're going to feel better. So like next week's another week, you know. So overall, your spread this week is kind of like, watch out for people and situations that are draining your energy. Expect a couple of problems around from home. If you are starting to really feel down, throw yourself into something that you love. And if you don't have anything that you love to throw yourself into, find something. I cannot preach that enough. Everybody needs hobbies. You cannot spend 24/7 with any one person, regardless of how much you're in love with them, because if anything ever happens to them, then your world completely turns upside down. So enjoy relationships, your personal relationships this week. There's nothing negative or heinous out to get you. Have a good look around and just reflect on your life, and don't worry about the negative energy, negative feelings that you may be feeling, because it will soon pass. Okay? If you chose pile 2, sorry, some of the cards decided to jump out, and I'm like, that's normally for somebody in particular, but okay, if you chose card pile 2, let's go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these cards out on the table, and I'm going to pause this angle, and I'm going to manually record with my camera, flipping the cards over, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so if you chose pile number 2, I'm just going to flip your cards over. This is very hard to do one-handed. Didn't realize that. Don't worry, I'll get a tripod and get it all sorted out. You know I will. Okay. So, this is your spread for the week. These are your cards. Okay, back to the other camera. Okay, so that's your deck of cards, your pile this week. So, alright, if you chose number 2, the overall card here is questions, it's pathways, it's asking yourself and making decisions on where you want to go, what you want to do, okay? So yes, this can be, in a general reading, this would be like, in the big scheme of things, you know, do I want to do this for a career? Where do I want to go? Do I want to travel? Do I want to settle down? We're talking about the week ahead with this reading, okay? So it might be a smaller decisions, but I do feel like that they are quite profound, okay? For the immediate future anyway. So it's like, okay, do I want to go out on the weekend, or would I prefer to have an early Friday night and go home and sleep the weekend away so I'm recharged for next week? It's little decisions like that that are going to have a big impact on this week and next week. So deciding to stay at home and have an early night rather than going out and partying, you're going to have more energy to be able to get through next week. So it is the things like that. Now I do feel obviously there are going to be a couple of people that have big decisions to make, but overall, I forgot to put this camera back on, sorry. Overall, it is going to just be the run-of-the-mill See, I'm getting people plagued with questions, like big questions, which is really difficult with a weekly reading. But it is kind of asking yourself where you want to go, what you want to do. There may be some people reconsidering where they're living, relationships, all that sort of thing, and it's bubbling in the brain. So this is asking questions, okay? So at no point is this talking about making a decision. But the next card over, the first card over, is talking about marriage. So I do feel like that there are some great unions coming this week. So it's like marriage, obviously, yes, getting proposed to and having a great relationship with your partner and being married and all that great stuff. But it could also be that you are questioning about buying a car, you decide to buy a new car and you find the perfect one. It's like a marriage. Or you start a new job and it is like marriage. Like you two, it's connection, it's coming together, okay? Speaking of connection, that's the next card. So I do feel like that by asking yourself these questions and taking it slow and really weighing your options this week, you're going to be making... Wow. Sorry, I don't normally look at the overall spread, but I just did then, because I feel like you're going to be making... This is actually a really good reading for you guys. It's you're going to make that marriage. You might be getting proposed to or engaged. The connection's there. That's feeling connected and alive and, you know, everybody's your best friend type thing. There's good connections there. I feel networking as well. So if you're in business meetings or going to business parties or something, there's networking there. So this is all really good. The next card over is the mind, body and spirit card. It's balance, okay? It's balance is mind, body and spirit. So it is connecting the three biggest things in life that we need to do. So it might be coming up with a plan of healthy eating, exercise and learning something new. Mind, body, spirit, you know? And this is really good. Like, either way, I don't feel like you can actually go wrong this week as long as you are really looking at the flip side of each question, each decision you're making, but don't procrastinate. Procrastination should be one of the 7 deadly sins. It really should. Do not procrastinate. At some point, you are just going to have to make a decision. But I digress, because I don't feel that for you guys this week. It is about making decisions. You already feel the need to make this decision, so you're going to make the right decision, the decision that's meant to be. Even if you make a decision and it turns out badly, which I don't see, but obviously some people are going to, there's always a lesson to be learned in anything that goes wrong, okay? So don't get too hung up on it. Just as long as you're making the best decision possible with all the information you have at hand, you're going to be sweet. Alright, so there is surprise and celebration. So this is, to me, straight off the bat, this is like, again, whatever you're deciding to do, the plans that you've got in play, they're going to work off, they're going to pay off, work out, and you're going to celebrate. So this could be deciding whether or not to invest in some stocks, and then bang, it pays off and you have a celebration. You know, if you decide to get divorced, there goes the marriage, you have a divorce party. Like, you celebrate these things. There is going to be the need to celebrate, whether it be throw a massive party or a night out of dinner with friends. You know, there is going to be a need to celebrate here, okay? And so good on you. Now, I've got the winter card here. So, yeah, look, in Australia, we're obviously in winter at the moment, June, July, August, so we've got a time frame here, okay? So the winter card is a lot of the times about protecting oneself and keeping out the riffraff and the bad elements. I'm not really being drawn to this at the moment. I am getting the time frame of, well, June's gone, so July, August. So whatever these decisions that you're making now, I feel like they're going to pay dividends for a couple of months yet. So you might be able to just keep reflecting. Say you buy a brand new car. You're still going to be in love with that car for the next 2 months before the novelty starts to wear off. You might buy, again, investments. It may be paying off for another 2 months before you need to sell that investment and get something else. So I'm really not getting anything necessarily bad with a winter card, which normally it is about protection. It's a card about protection. But I am getting cold. So, like, even if you're going out and having drinks, make sure you're warm and safe, otherwise sickness. The final card here is positivity. Can't say much more than that. When you look at the positivity card, there's a lot of people cheering. There looks like there's electricity and in the air. You know, everybody's alive, and so this good outcome that happens for you, coupled with the surprise and celebration card and the positivity card, it feels like it's going to be something that you can share with people. Other people are going to be excited from your win, or whatever you decide to do, they're going to be excited for you. So yeah, a lot of love, a lot of positivity, a lot of good stuff. Kind of jealous that I didn't pick pile 2. Hi guys, if you chose pile number 3, here we go. Okay, I'm going to draw the cards out, and then I will flip them over using my camera on my phone so that you guys get to see what they are. Don't worry, next week I'll have this all sorted out. So, if you chose pile number 3, I'm not good at doing this one-handed, but that's okay. I will sort out a tripod next week. It's just hard to do it with the way the angles of the lights are. But hey, at least we're finally getting a video. Okay, so that is your spread for this week. Okay, so if you chose pile number 3, the overall card is the summer card, okay? So I feel like saying the classic saying that things are about to heat up for you, but in a good way, okay? I feel the summertime card is also, you know, holidays, relaxation, doing what you want to do, your own recreational time. Obviously in Australia, summer is December, January, February, but here I'm getting a bit of a timeline of when you can reap the rewards of what you're working towards, this time of relaxation and rest. So yes, this is the week ahead reading, but things are going to pop up from time to time which are longer than that. But I feel like it's kind of like, okay, start making your plans now for a holiday during those times, time off. You don't have to go away, you don't have to do anything, you can stay in bed the entire time you have holidays. But there is a good period of coming at the beginning of next year for you. Bonus for the week ahead. But as for this week, it is about resting and relaxing, taking as much time for yourself as possible without feeling guilty. Because if you get fatigued and you start to shut down, you're going to spiral and go negative, and you're doing people more of a favor by resting and relaxing and taking care of yourself this week than you would be by soldiering on through, which you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so the first card here is the autumn leave card, okay, which is actually March, April, May as a time frame. I don't feel like that's really coming into play in this reading for you guys, but the autumn card is talking about fall, as America calls it, the leaves falling off the tree and blowing away. So it's kind of like an ending of some sort, letting things go. Now, I'm not particularly feeling like that this is necessarily a bad thing for you. It could be you choosing to let go of things, which makes perfect sense actually. When you're concentrating on resting and relaxing, there are stuff you're going to have to let go, anxieties and worries, in order to rest and relax. So this actually goes hand in hand. Ooh, I just figured that out. But it is letting go of things, okay? Now, on this card, there is the feather, which actually represents spiritual energy, positive spiritual energy around you. I'm really getting drawn to that. I think that's the first time I've mentioned this on these new cards that I've designed. And the open book there, you can write your history. So it's about ending stuff and beginning stuff. Ending the bad and beginning the good, basically. Alright, so the next card over is the younger woman. Now, forget the age and forget the gender. This is literally a card about breaking free of chains. Quite literally, you can see the chains there. And setting yourself free. It's like, this is like easing up on yourself and letting go of guilt and worry and all these negative things that, look, if you should be feeling guilty about something, suck it up and admit it, and then you can break those chains. You can break free of that guilt and whatever. If you're one of these people that feel guilty because you're sitting down and having a cup of coffee when you could be vacuuming the inside of the roof, then ease up on yourself. Break free of that. Okay, this is breaking chains. This could actually be breakup as well, but I feel like it's your choice. You've chosen this pile. You're the one that's breaking free of a bad situation. You're breaking away. So look, I do feel like that this is getting away from bad habits and learning. Again, learning. The book is empty. You're learning, wow, this really worked for me when I did this, and this. So you'll be able to take that on later on in life. More lessons, life lessons. The next card over is the Separation card. It's upside down. So straight away, what I'm going to say to you is that even if you're breaking free of a situation, it's not going to be bad. Okay, some people are stuck in relationships that they don't want to be in, but the other person doesn't deserve to go through a breakup. But at the end of the day, if you're with the wrong person, you're best off ending that sooner rather than later. Okay, either way, the Separation card being upside down is saying that it's not going to be World War III. Well, not at the moment, not this week. It is saying that I feel like that there aren't any really bad repercussions from breaking free at this point. So going back to the people that are feeling guilty about having that cup of coffee instead of, polishing the doorknobs down the street, you have nothing to fear by taking some time for yourself. Everything's going to be fine. Okay? Now the next card over is the Authority card. Okay? It's danger. It's worry. It's all things bad. What was that? Whoa! I'm sorry. So the Authority card and the Danger card here. Look, I feel like you're feeling like there's going to be danger, like you're on edge. Again, coming back to the Summer card, which is the overall card for your reading, is about resting and relaxing. So again, letting go of anxieties and fears and worries. And that's what this Danger card is actually symbolizing, letting go of those worries and of those fears, okay? Excuse me. The center symbol is the triquetra, which you've probably seen on Charmed or around the place, but it is talking about connection. It is talking about being protected. There's blessings. It's like, look, basically it's saying that your back is covered, your backside's covered, and the universe has your back. So rest, relax, do your own thing, worry about you for once. Okay. The next card over is Spirit Energy card upside down. Now this is actually saying that, look, it has multiple different meanings, but right now I'm being drawn to people thinking that by resting or something, somebody that has passed or an elder of some sort may be disappointed in them, or they may be letting somebody down, or this isn't what this person would have done. Don't do that to yourself, okay? That's what this card upside down is saying. I feel even the spirits are coming through going, look after yourself, rest, you deserve it, you've worked your ass off. So this spirit energy being upside down, I actually feel like is, don't get into your own head and compare yourself to people, whether they're alive or not. Don't think that you're letting people down, or that people are going to be disappointed, or think less of you. Get that out of your head, because you need to look after yourself just like everybody else does. Okay? The final card here is the Sadness card, and it's upside down. Basically, I feel like the universe is saying, if you wish to avoid sadness or depression or spiraling at the moment, then you need to rest and recover. Because if you don't, you are just going to fatigue yourself. That seems to be the issue of the day. If you don't look after yourself, rest and recover, you are going to burn yourself out, you're going to spiral, you're going to be no good to anybody. Okay, so to avoid that, rest and relax. Okay, by resting and relaxing, by taking that time for yourself, by doing whatever it is that you need to do, you're going to avoid sadness, and sadness isn't going to come out of you looking after yourself. So you looking after yourself is not going to lead to anything bad. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, okay guys, that was this week's triple deck reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe to YouTube. You only have to do it the once. Like, comment, all that great stuff. If you do want a full reading with me, you can contact me at thegreenspsychic@gmail.com or via Facebook. other than that, just watch out for fatigue with everybody. It seemed to be a common pattern in all the readings tonight. I think at the end of doing the 3 spreads from now on, I will have like a final comment thing, but it does seem to be that this week is going to, some people are going to have really great weeks, some people are going to have really bad ones, but basically the common denominator this week seems to be about fatigue and wearing yourself out and burning yourself out. If you need to stop, then stop. And if the thought of stopping is on your mind, stopping and resting and relaxing and taking some time for yourself, if you're already thinking about that, then you need to do it. Okay, if you're not thinking about that, but you're wound so tight, I don't have time for that, you need to. Okay, that's kind of like for everybody. But I will leave it there. I hope this was helpful. I will see you next week. And again, I am Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Bye, guys.